Hello there, and welcome to installment number 2 of basically my upgrading technique that allowed me to get my maxed out landing crafts. So, last episode, if you would, I kind of covered how I upgraded my various different buildings, left my defenses woefully untouched, and kind of got everything, I'd say staged is a good word, where, and I staged my base to be able to support my massive expansion. That's what we're gonna say. As you can see, this is more older footage, where this time I got a little more on the old landing crafts. So, to carry on, what I basically did is, I had landing crafts because obviously I was using tanks, and this goes way back before I even started maxing things at level 20 with my level 20 HQ and whatnot, is I had level, oh geez, what would it be, I guess, level 16? Oh man, the capacity to seat 18 people, which would be, no, level 14. So level 14 landing crafts, which could hold 18 capacity, I guess that would be, which was because at one point, before I started going the way of the tank, I was going the way of the warrior, and it turns out I kind of suck at the warrior attacks. They're not great, but the tank is a little more my style, I guess. Or maybe it's just because I didn't get enough chance to really learn the warriors, which I've been practicing with. We'll see. Anyway, going back, so I had basically level 18 everything for my warrior attacks so that I could grab resource bases. I know there's been a lot of conflict about resource bases. Some people are like swearing resource bases are mandatory. Other people are swearing they're a waste of time. I guess it depends on your playstyle, your VP, and your troop composition. I know personally, I was a pretty big fan of the resource bases. For a significant period of time, the resource bases really provided me more than half of my hourly resource income, so they were a pretty big deal for me. But I do understand that some people maybe not so much. The point is, this doesn't really matter. What really matters is I had level 14 landing crafts, and what I did from there is I started upgrading them all to having a capacity of 21, again, for the warriors. But I started with, because I had 2 landing craft that held medics, I brought them up to 20, because then I could fit an extra medic in, and then brought a third one up to 20 in case I needed to go, 3 medics, 5 tanks instead of 6 and 2. Which, didn't happen that often, but every once in a while when I needed just a little more healing and a little less DPS. So I made sure to get those 3 up first, and then from there I started bringing all the rest up to 21, just kind of knocking them off one at a time. If I had the resources available to do one of the bigger upgrades, because of Dr. T or a task force reward or whatever, I basically did whatever was the most convenient, and whatever would bring my resources to pretty much nothing. So I got all of my landing craft up to around 20 or 21. I think they were all 20, and there were like 3 that were 21 because I wanted to try Scorchers because they sounded really cool and stuff, and I just hadn't kind of gotten them up to the point. And then I started my next phase of landing craft upgrades. kind of in between slash after getting other buildings and whatnot maxed out, which was bringing them all up to level 22. And when I say all, I don't mean actually all of them. Most of them up to level 22. I'm pretty sure I got 2 that hung around for a lot longer at, and yeah, not level 22. I guess that would be capacity 22. I'm just going to talk capacity because that will work with my brain a lot easier. Sorry, I'm used to referring to like my landing crafts based on the capacity because it's written on the back of the boat, and I'm just like, oh yeah, capacity 24, yay. Anyway, so they stuck at 21 because they could hold that 7th warrior, which was awesome for resource reward attacks. They could hold Scorchers, and that was good enough. Everything else I was upgrading to 22, which means I could hold an extra Zooka in there, which was fantastic. And then I kind of staged everything where they were all sitting at 22, with the exception of the 2 that were at 21. And then I started the big push to 24 capacity. And basically, for each landing craft, that was a 3-day process. Because the first day, I would do a map clear, slash mix it in with Dr. T, slash mix it in with whatever my task force reward was. And that would give me enough to, say, go to capacity 23 from 22, which is still a fairly large upgrade. I think it's like 2.8, 2.4, and like 1.6 million or something crazy like that. That might be... I didn't memorize any of this stuff. The point is, they were sizable upgrades, and when I finished them, because I'd maxed out my... radar, my map would start populating nice and fast so that I could find new people to attack. Because of my maxed out vault, I cleared out all of my resources, so no one really attacked me that often. And when I did get attacked, generally I wasn't losing that much. And then because all of my resource bases and my resource islands that I was pulling in and everything like that, over the next 2 days I would get myself up anywhere between 600k and 800k, let's say, for each resource. And what I would do in that period of time, because my resources were so far behind, I could upgrade things like my machine guns and my flamethrowers and my mortars, and it was hilarious because those upgrades, I think when I started upgrading my machine guns, they were like 25k iron to do an upgrade, and I was just like, this is awesome. The upgrade takes like 8 hours, so I can only do 3 a day. It allows me to get better defenses. It doesn't use up my iron, which, I'm not gonna lie to you, through this entire thing, it was always the iron that was kind of slowing me down. Wood and stone, I got so much from raiding other people's bases, it wasn't even funny. It was always the iron. So obviously whenever I got, my daily rewards, I'd choose the iron. Whenever I got my task force rewards, I'd choose the iron. Whenever, I could score iron from a diving spot, which I haven't even delved into the diving stuff. I would always choose the iron because it was always the iron I was starving for. And I'm not gonna lie, there were a couple of times where I'd be like, 40,000-50,000 iron short, and just decided, you know what, I'm gonna use some of my crystals because or gems, I guess, because I honestly didn't really gem for the majority of the time I've been playing this game. And even upgrading all of my landing craft, I didn't use a lot of gems on that. I used more gems trying to refresh troops so that I could make videos for Dr. T after I screwed something up than I did on landing crafts. So this entire process was purely map clearing and could be done completely for free if you wanted to, or if you're lazy, basically with the free gems that the game gives you from, you know, the treasure chests around your map, I guess, when you go through every 4 hours. Yeah, that's another thing. Those treasure chests, little anal retentive, every 4 hours logging in to get those bad boys since I started playing, which is fantastic because those treasure chests add up. Whoa, baby. Anyways, this has been installment number 2, kind of explaining how I moved my landing crafts up to capacity 24. There will be another in this series, just because, as I touched on, you know, a few things, there's more stuff to this. So thank you very much for watching, guys. And hopefully some of this information is helping you if you need to upgrade your landing crafts and giving you ideas on ways to do it. With that, I'm going to wish you a fantastic day, and we'll see you in the next episode.